Good morning to one and all. This is Dr. P. Lavanya, working as Associate Professor in MBA Department and Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal, Hyderabad. So today our topic was related to the theory of the firm in economics. So what is the theory of firm and how it was used in the economics? We are able to identify in days of this videos. So what is a firm? The organization which was producing goods and services. So theory of the firm means how an organization will contribute in the form of production of goods and services and a distribution of these goods and services and maximizing the utility to the consumers. So the theory of the firms will have saying that the way of production and what the organization or the producer want, and at the same way what satisfaction the consumer getting. Means three. The firm itself will goes for what the consumer require and producers, and these two relates to firm. So why a firm is established? Requirement of the consumer, producer, maximum utility. We'll call it as a theory of firm. So in the economics, as we have the neoclassical theories or the mid of the economist says, and approaches of economics focusing upon the determination of goods output and income distribution in markets through supply and demand. Means what the theorist has been says that a firm or an organization where it involves in production or distribution of goods, output and its income distributed with the help of through supply and demand of the goods and services. So in this, the theory of the firm where we can consider it as a microeconomic concept. As we know, micro means it is a small, or theory of the firm itself related to the a firm, individual firm itself. It doesn't meet the requirements of external environment or industry persons. It will have only related to the one firm's management or one firm's attitude. So that's why the theory of the firm is concerns with the microeconomic concepts that states that the firm exists and makes decisions in order to maximize the profits. Means why an organization or the firm exists and what type of decisions it will take. The need is to increase or to get a good amount of profits. That is the main thing involved in the theory of the firm. So one is it is a micro concept and another one is maximization of the profits are the important for this theory. So this theory is refers saying that every firm will orders or operate to make profits. Means the main aim or objective of the firm is to earn revenue or earn profits. Profit maximization is a goal of each and every organization. So here it's a micro concept and relating to the profit maximization. So the companies asserting the price and the demand of the product in the market makes optimum allocation of the resources for increasing their net profit. Means each firm want to optimum allocation of resources. Means perfectly what goods are required in the market will be forecasted, and that for that supply the production will be done by getting in a good allocation of the resources, maybe like land, labor, capital, money and technology. And why they are making by utilizing all these is in order to increase their net profit attitude. And in this theory of the firm, as itself consisting of a micro concept, it states that a firm exists and make decisions for maximizing the profits. So what sort of decisions will be influencing in case of increasing the profits or the variety of the decisions? Organization means we doesn't involve or we doesn't go for thinking in a one sphere. We'll think in a different dimension. So what are those variety of the decisions utilized in the theory of the firm means It includes the variety of areas, the areas whatever they are having, includes the resource allocation, and it includes the production techniques, price adjustment, and volume of production. Means resource allocation in the sense how much or for what percentage of the goods what percentage of the resources we are allocating. And at the same way, what are the production? Innovative techniques are used, traditional techniques are used, and with the techniques, what is the volume of the production we are having, and these volume of the production is adjusted to the external or internal price of the product or not. So linking all these things, the theory of the firm will take into the consideration. And when you think of modern theories to take, the firm sometimes it distinguishes the modern people or the firms will say that where this theory of the firm will differentiate between the long run motivations and also the short run motivators. Means the producers who want to motively or intensively want to carry the business in a long run nature. So what is their motives? And the people who want to carry the business in a short run, what is their motives? So when you see in case of long run motives, as sustainability is important factor of long run. Sustainability means surviving of the organization. Once the organization want to survive in the external environment, 100% we should not go for more profit motivated things. So we want to go or attract the consumers with a less price or quality of the product such that my organization will firmly fix in the industry. Means the surviving will be started. Once we survive, then in the long run, then we go for profit oriented. So the long run motivators, then they want to stabilize their industry or firm in the external market, they go for sustainability. But the people who are having a short term motivation, maybe I produce the goods, I'll sell in the market and I'll leave the market. So this type of motivator, that is called as short term motivators, always they want to go for the profit maximization. So these are the two type of the motivators in the theory of the firm relating to their nature. So in this theory, where we can see that neoclassical economics dominates, means the mid age of the economics, they themselves dominates the mainstream of economics today. So they says that this theory of the firm and other theories associated with neoclassicalism, all the things which are having influence upon the decision making in variety of areas. Yes, sir. So these people will have a decision making pattern, maybe in resource production techniques and also the adjustments. So these also explains that while the economic analysis focus the broad industries as in 19th century's progress, means the economic analysis which was conducted by the Indian environment or maybe the international levels, they have been identified that the organization was focusing broadly upon in 19th century, where the basic question is that why companies produce what they produce and what motivate the choice. Means economically when they want to move forward, so these people are asking what about the companies or the theory of the individual firm or individual organization, that why companies so produce, means why you are producing goods and services. Means here firms need, what is the requirement of the firm. So as you are profit motive or you are service motive, what is your requirement? What is why your production of these goods? So every company will has its own motives, and along with that what they produce. So what type of goods you are producing? You are producing a good and qualified goods, or maybe sustainability goods, or eco-friendly, pollution-free. So in this way we are asking that what they want to produce related to the variety or the type of the goods. Then what motivate their choice? So in a firm, what type of motivation is there while choosing the resources? Means organizational resources are being chosen, maybe best quality or no, or higher price, lower price, quantity. So different thing was chosen. So how it was chosen? What motivate them to choose when they allocate these resources into the capital and labor. So at the progress of 19th century, all the economical analysis focused upon what companies are producing, why they are producing, and what is their choice. So, however, this theory of firm always they debated with expanding with the company's goals maximization with short term, long term, and company's perspective and also the consumer perspective. So they want to say that the theory of the firm is always depends that maximization of the profits. Maybe it is of a long term nature, maybe it is of a short term nature. It's related to the whatever the term it is. Maybe the long term motivators also want sustainability, but with a less amount of profit. But then this is not saying that no profits. They are having profits, but with a less amount of profit. In the short term, always I want to sell the goods and go, so I want a more amount of the profits. But in case of modern theories, what the firm associates or the distinguisher is related to that, it seeks to explain, means these mediator terms what they want to seek to explain is why a firm is existed and how firms are established, what firms contribute to the economies. So last we have seen that in economic analysis they asked what they produce, why they produced, and choice. Here when you comes by examining the short term and long term goals of a company's theory, we can say that why a firm is existed. It is in order to get some profits. Why a firm exists? When an organization is started to earn, fundamental use is to earn the profit. Next we go for secondary motives like a service motive or any other motives. And the next one, how the firms are established, means how these organizations established, maybe with the help of larger, that is medium scale industry, long scale industries and small scale industry. How? So what is the main basis for that establishment? And next one is what firms contributed to the economy. So increasing of the economy. Only when goods and services are produced and goods and services are utilized by the consumers, then the economy will be raises. So here what firms means which type of firms are contributing to increase or the development of a company or economy will be identified in this theory of firms. So here we can see the main goals of the theory of the firm is if the company's goal is to maximize the short-term profit, it find the ways to boost the revenue and reduce the cost. Means my firm main objective or aim is to increase the profits. Once if I want to increase the profit, so I want to increase the revenue. So once revenue increasing means doesn't mean to increase the cost. Revenue increasement could be done in another ways. The important way of revenue increased may be like reduction of the cost, means unnecessary cost or prevention of unnecessary cost within the organization. By reducing the cost, we can increase the revenue or the profits for the company. And another thing, however, the company utilizes, means how the organization want to seek profits, short-term profits where we want to seek is another way like utilizing fixed assets like equipment would make ultimately make capital investment to ensure the company's profitability in case of long term. Means the fixed cost what we keep in the organization by utilizing of fixed assets, equipments and other like land, buildings and other fixed assets. What makes to need make capital investment to ensure, so these type of fixed equipment relates to the fixed capital investment. Once that investments are made, in the long term I can generate the income. Means every time building of the factory or every time equipment purchasing is not there. Once we purchase, then we utilize that one for year after and year. where they will generate more amount of the profits. And next one is use of cash to investment, that is undoubtedly hurts the small term profits. Means cash to be invested in the assets which help for the long term viability, means long term sustainability of the organization when we use to invest cash in the assets such that which will increase the short term profits of the organization. And when you comes and another features like theory of the firm, like competition. So not just profit, we can also impact the decision making of the company executives. Means competition means don't think that it is only related to the profit oriented. Yes, maybe it related to the profit oriented, but the impact of these competitor decisions will make many competitive executives to move forward or to make a best impression in the company. If competition is strong, the company will need not only to maximize profit, but we always must and should be a step ahead of the competitor. Means if company is good and sustained in the long term nature and providing large amount of the profits, then automatically what happens, we has to cleanly observe the competitor and we should take the decision or we should take any strategy a step of the competitors by reinvesting itself and adopting the offers. Means we should be ahead or the first of the competitors by investment increase or reinvestment, or maybe we has to giving offers, maybe coupons or any other discounting factors to attract the consumers. And the next one relating to this was the theory of the firm in case of long-term profits could be maximized if there is a balance between short-term profit which are invested in the future. Means don't think that organization sustainability and the balance will be there only with the long-term profits. So when I want to maintain that long-term profits, there should be a balance between short-term profits or the short-term revenue earned and which are reaped and invested in the future. Means every month or every year, some amount I want to keep aside. These short-term profits are added and they invested in the form of long-term profits. So these are the fundamental things relating or some of the things which we relates to the theory of the firm. And along with that, we are able to identify saying that this theory of the firm versus the theory of the consumer. Means already we have seen the firm is having a short-term motivation and it also will have a long-term motivation, and by these we are able to maximize the profit. But organization is purely theories based upon the earning long-term or the short-term. But what about the consumer? So what he feels. So the theory of the firm works side by side with the theory of the consumer. Firm itself requires the profitability, innovation and also overall development. But when you say in case of consumer, he want to seek maximize their utility. What does this utility means? To satisfaction of its want. Means why consumer purchase the goods, why a consumer utilize the goods in order to get some utility, means satisfaction. So if that satisfaction is not there, automatically consumer will stop purchasing of the goods and services. So the important factor along with the theory of the firm to be identified about the theory of the consumer, what a consumer want. So here the theory of the firm works side by side with the consumer, as he says that consumer want to maximize the overall utility or satisfaction. In this case, we know utility refers to the perceiving value of the consumer to place on goods or services. Means what value the consumer, maybe when I keep 10 rupees, then a consumer point of view, he want to perceive the value of 10 rupees. Means he feels happy, whatever he has been spent, for that if he feels satisfied, then he feels the happy. So that is called as perceived value of the consumer. So in the theory of the firm, we should take into consideration the aspect of the perceivedness of the consumer. So along with this perceivedness, we has to refer sometimes the level of happiness that customer experience from goods or services. Means if we get a maximum utility, then what level of happiness we are having with the consumer experiencing from goods or services. If consumer got a good or a happy, well, then he want to repurchase the goods. If consumer was not happy, dissatisfied, okay, the goods is good, then automatically he don't want to purchase again and again. So here we can see that a consumer perceived value, when the consumer want to produce a goods for 10, expected to receive satisfaction or utility for the value of 10 rather than what he has been purchased. So this is about in contradiction to the maximum satisfaction what a firm is having in case of short-term profits and long-run maximization of the profit. The consumer also want to get a good satisfaction or utility relating to these goods and services. So once the consumer was happy, automatically he repurchases the goods and match or satisfies the motive of the firm, that is to earn the profits. So in this way, where we can say these theory of the firm will worsen with the theory of the consumer in case of satisfaction. So along with these theories, as we can identify that the theory of the firm is having many important or different theories like neoclassical theory, and the second one is transactional cost theory, principal agent theory, and evolutionary theory. So neoclassical theory is a fundamental theory of economics where based upon the traditional motives and the traditional need requirements, what a producer want to do and what is a consumer. So the traditional utility comes under the neoclassical theory. And along with that, when you say the transaction cost theory, means always the firm's theory will depends upon what amount he transferred or what he purchased. So based upon the cost, he want to go for the profit motive. That is called as transactional cost theory. And next comes as the theory of principal and agent. Means we have a relation that is between principal agent. How that type of relationship between principal and agent, that is debtor and creditor, so customer and the owner. So how that was executed in the theory of the firm will be explained in the principal and agent relation. And the next theory comes as evolutionary theory. So basic from the last past to the now, based upon the changes taken place by the midis and also the modern one, classical ones. So evolutionary, there are the different theories which are explaining the theory of the firm. So with these, we'll come to the conclusion due to the introduction of theory of the firm. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.